If you pay attention to Nigerian culture, you will notice something very strange. People often respect suffering. They respect suffering a lot. They don't respect compassion. They don't respect balance. They don't respect well-being. But suffering, then the more someone appears to endure hardship, the more serious they seem. The person wey dey look like say na him suffer pass, the person that has what the outside people call karambani, overdo, like there are a lot of them around. So the more exhausted they are, the more hardworking they appear. The more stress they carry, the more respectable they become. And because of this, many Nigerians have developed a complicated relationship with pain. Think about some of the things people say: no pain, no gain, nothing good comes easy. Na suffer wey person suffer dey make am. Also no dey kill person. At first glance, these statements they seem harmless. They even look very motivational. But underneath them is a powerful cultural assumption that suffering is a proof of value, that struggle is a proof of success, that exhaustion is a proof of commitment. And once a society begins believing that, something dangerous can happen. People stop asking whether the suffering is necessary or not. They simply accept it as if it's a normal thing. When you look around, someone works 18 hours a day, people applaud. Someone takes time to rest, people question them. Someone burns out, people call it dedication. Someone prioritizes mental health, and people call them lazy. Notice that pattern. You understand? Notice that pattern. The person destroying themselves often receives more respect than the person protecting themselves. We have had doctors that have slumped and died working for 72 hours in the hospital. This is very, very common in the medical field. You need to see doctors that are dying, slumping and dying because they want to overwork themselves. So why is all this happening? Because many Nigerians were raised inside survival economics. For generations, life was difficult, resources were limited, opportunities were scarce, economic, security was uncertain. In that environment, endurance becomes, essential. People had to be, resilient. They had to push through hardship. Don't get me wrong, resilience is very valuable. It's a very valuable thing. The problem begins when resilience becomes identity. When people stop surviving hardship and start worshiping it. Because there's a difference between these two. You understand? A society should admire resilience, but it should not romanticize suffering. Yet that is exactly what often happens in our society. People begin telling stories where pain automatically becomes noble, where struggle automatically becomes meaningful, where exhaustion becomes automatically admirable, and eventually people lose their ability to imagine a healthy life. You understand? They only know survival mode. Even success becomes connected to suffering, and some people feel guilty when life becomes easier. And they feel like this is not a normal thing. They feel uncomfortable resting. They feel uncomfortable slowing down. They feel uncomfortable enjoying peace. Because struggle has become psychologically familiar. Pain feels normal. Calm feels suspicious. You even see this in conversation. Tell someone you want a balanced life, they may laugh. Tell them you want less stress, they may say life doesn't work that way. You understand? Life doesn't work that way. Tell them you want emotional well-being, they may respond with stories about how difficult life is, as if suffering itself is wisdom. But here's the truth: suffering teaches lessons. It teaches people lessons. Yet suffering is not the purpose of life. It's not as if suffering is the purpose of life. Human beings need more than endurance. They need joy, they need connection, they need creativity, they need rest, they need love, they need meaning. You understand? The ability to wake up without constantly feeling under attack. You are not in panic mode. The ability to exist without always struggling is very important. Many Nigerians are carrying invisible exhaustion. They smile, they function, they work, but internally they are tired of surviving, tired of hustling, tired of carrying pressure. And because everybody around them is also exhausted, the exhaustion just looks like a normal thing. An entire society becomes fatigued together without realizing they are fatigued, and that is one reason burnout is so common. People are praised for pushing themselves beyond healthy limits, then criticized when they finally break down. They are criticized when they finally break down. The cycle continues over and over. But a healthy society does not only teach people how to endure hardship, it teaches them how to enjoy life when hardship ends. It teaches them that rest is not weakness, that peace is not laziness, that happiness is not irresponsibility, and that a human being's value is not measured by how much pain they can tolerate. Resilience is beautiful, but resilience should be a bridge, not a destination. It should just be a bridge, but it should not be the destination. Because the goal of survival is not to keep surviving forever. The goal of survival is to eventually live. And perhaps one of the most important questions Nigerians ask themselves is this: how can we become so accustomed to suffering that we no longer realize what a healthy life looks like? Peace and love.